What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Just before we get into the video, don't forget to like or dislike the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment down below. We've shown you how the WWE likes to recycle old entrance themes, but that's not the only thing they tried to use over again. Here are 9 times the WWE tried to reboot old ideas and failed miserably. Number 1. The New World Order. When Vince McMahon announced he was going to inject the WWE with poison and give it terminal cancer, fans had no idea he was talking about the careers of Gene Snitsky and John Heidenreich. Just kidding. Vince had just lost control of the WWE to Nature Boy Ric Flair, so he set out to destroy the WWE by bringing in original members of the NWO, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, to destroy his company from within. Fans were intrigued as the NWO was one of the hottest acts in wrestling during the 1990s, and although the concept had been watered down in WCW, McMahon was bringing in the founding members. Unfortunately, the 2002 New World Order reboot was snake-bitten, as fans wanted to cheer Hollywood Hulk Hogan rather than boo him. Turns out fans actually missed Hulk Hogan since his 1993 departure, and no one wanted to work with Scott Hall as he was battling personal demons. Hogan soon turned babyface, depriving the NWO of a key player, while Scott Hall's personal excesses led to his abrupt departure. Factor in Kevin Nash's inevitable quad injury, and the angle was scrapped long before it had time to succeed. Number 2. WWECW. As we covered in a Behind the Titantron episode, the WWE's version of ECW was doomed to fail. There were multiple reasons, including the WWE watering down the original ECW product, the company throwing in ridiculous gimmicks like the Zombie, kicking ECW's mastermind Paul Heyman to the curb, favoring WWE superstars over ECW originals, and just bad television. Few people outside Titan Tower were surprised when the show flopped, and although it lasted on Sci-Fi for several years, it was dead on arrival. Number 3. DGeneration X. Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley's DGeneration X faction was a big part of the WWF's resurgence in the Attitude Era, with both men, aided by Hunter's bodyguard Chyna, entertaining fans with their risque promos and fondness for pushing the envelope. Hunter and Michaels were two hip guys who knew how to connect with their fans and provided cutting-edge storylines. However, the sight of two guys approaching middle age pretending to be young and hip wasn't convincing at all. The all-new DX was anything but, reminding fans that you can't go back home again, particularly when your purpose in life is to sell Vince Loves Cock t-shirts. What should have been a short-lived nostalgia reunion turned into the wrestling equivalent of someone with explosive diarrhea waiting for it to end. Number 4. Fake Razor Ramon and Diesel. This wasn't just a terrible idea, but a shining example of how desperate the WWF was in 1996 to draw ratings. After Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left for WCW, Vince McMahon figured since he owned the rights to the Razor Ramon and Diesel characters, why not replace him with two more or less lookalikes? McMahon had Jim Ross announce he was bringing Razor and Diesel back, and fans knew they'd been had as soon as the new version strutted out. The idea was atrocious and no one was buying it. However, the WWF ran with it, despite the fans dumping on it, reminding the fans from September 1996 to early 1997 that the company had let two of its biggest stars jump ship to rival promotion WCW. Number 5. The New Midnight Express. Pro wrestling has shown throughout the years that it's possible to recreate new versions of classic tag teams under the right conditions. For example, the Midnight Express went from Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose to Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton to Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. All 3 incarnations featured 2 solid workers, as well as the unifying presence of manager Jim Cornette. However, when the WWF decided to slap the name New on the Midnight Express and put the blasé team of Bob Holly and Bart Gunn in, the fans weren't buying it. Even the presence of legendary manager Jim Cornette, and Cornette has gone on record saying this team had no connection with the Midnight Express teams he managed beforehand. Number 6. The New Legion of Doom. While Hawk and Animal's run in the WWF led to their becoming the first and only tag team to hold the AWA, NWA and WWF Tag Team Championships, their run as the Legion of Doom in the WWF was less exciting than fans expected. Their return during the Attitude Era as LOD 2000 was even less inspired, but nothing could prepare fans for 2005 when Animal teamed up with John Heidenreich to form a new version of LOD. Even if you're going to ignore Heidenreich's subpar wrestling skills, the fact that the WWE tried to replace the late great Road Warrior Hawk left fans disgusted, particularly when Heidenreich began sporting a mohawk and wearing spiked shoulder pads like Hawk. Number 7. The New Blackjacks. As you can see, the inclusion of the word new before team names is a way of saying the WWE ran out of new ideas. The original team of Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza was one of wrestling's double tough teams, two Texans who brutalized opponents and evoked memories of the Wild West villains, complete with black hats and menacing mustaches. Then there were the New Blackjacks, Barry Windham and John Bradshaw. He and Bradshaw simply looked like caricatures of the original team. Number 8. The New Rockers. The WWF gives credit for trying to take an over-the-top parody version of the original Rockers team, with the original Rocker, Marty Jannetty, leading the team, and Leif Cassidy, aka Al Snow, replacing Shawn Michaels. The two played two guys who thought they were hip, but more out of touch than Vince McMahon. Stories about the New Rockers' comedy origins differ with some accounts, stating the team was supposed to be a serious reboot until it was clear the team's in-ring work couldn't hold up to the originals, forcing the WWF to turn them into a comedy team. Other stories state the pair was set up as laughingstocks from the very start. Either way, the team became a laughingstock and Jannetty left the WWF, while Cassidy transformed into the incredibly over Al Snow. And number 9. The New Foundation. Last off is the team of Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart, aka the New Foundation. The team of Bret the Hitman Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart proved one of the most reliable tag teams during the 1980s, putting on great matches with whomever they faced. Thus, when the WWF decided to put a new face on the old team, it seemed like it might work because of the presence of excellent worker Owen Hart and the original Hart Foundation member Jim Neidhart. Owen was just as talented as Bret, but he and Neidhart lacked the chemistry the original pairing had. Factor in their horrendous brightly coloured outfits and the team was doomed from the start. Fortunately, Jim Neidhart didn't stay around long and the New Foundation faded away before it tarnished the reputation of the original Hart Foundation. Well guys, there you have it. 9 WWE reboots that failed miserably. Were there any we missed out? Be sure to leave your comments down below and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.